Hello, everybody, and welcome to Change Now, the world's largest event for the planet. My name is Inge Mehus, and I'm your moderator here in our pitch garden today. This pitch session is dedicated to sustainable fashion, and we're going to discover some fantastic top innovators today. And we got lots to cover, and unfortunately only 35 minutes, so let's get started. And we're going to get a quick intro to the theme from our expert, Chloe Cohen-Akanina from StarQuest. Chloe, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Hi, Inge. Thank you for the introduction and nice to meet you all. I am an investor at StarQuest, which is a venture capital firm investing in clean tech, in B2B companies. We have 65 companies in methanization, hydrogen, precision agriculture, traceability, green polymers, and way more. I'm very excited for today's session and happy to make an introduction about the topic of today, sustainable fashion, because as far as maybe 3 years ago, I did not identify the clothes I wore as a source of pollution. And it's kind of scary when you realize it, that textile production leads to around 1 billion tons of carbon dioxide emissions per year, which is actually more than marine shipping and international flights combined. So this is a scary number. So we know that the fashion industry needs to move away from the fast fashion mindset to one of thoughtful production and consumption as well, which is what we call sustainable fashion, and that's what we'll be talking about today. So what we usually forget or perhaps don't realize is that sustainability is not just about using bamboo-based fibers and slapping the term sustainable on the hang tag, but true sustainability comes when the entire supply chain of that bamboo is sustainable. So I think bamboo because it's so prevalent in the marketplace and we are told a lot about the benefit of using bamboo-based materials. However, we haven't really achieved an ecosystem of true sustainability, and we know that because we're still reading a lot about deforestation, water contamination, and shortage and stuff. So we have to keep in mind that a supply chain in its own ecosystem that must be sustained in order for the world to see true impact, environmental impact. But luckily for us, these challenges are taken up by some amazing entrepreneurs that we will hear pitch today. From an integrated circular economy platform, supply chain transparency solution to the future of gold and diamonds, as well as dissolving threads for fabrics. I guess we have all it takes to limit the planet's temperature. So let's kick the ass of climate change.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Chloe, for that introduction. And I am very excited to soon introduce our fantastic changemaker. But first, let's introduce our impressive jury. We're going to start with Martin Wright from Positive News. Would love to hear a little bit from you.
Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm Martin Wright. I'm chair of Positive News. That's the magazine and global social media initiative which provides good journalism about good things. And I'm also a journalist of some years standing, specializing in environmental solutions and sustainable futures. So that's me. Thank you.
Fantastic, Martin. Patricia Hansen from Impacta VC, over to you.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm very excited to be here. So I'm Patricia. I'm based in Santiago, Chile. I'm a partner at Impacta VC, where we invest in companies solving the biggest challenges in the Americas. Dedicated my career to startups from Startup Chile and then in San Francisco, and currently also with Seedstars, a Swiss-based investment group. Congratulations to everyone that is here. I'm very excited to hear you all.
Thank you, Patricia. And then finally, we have Stefan Bourbier from Asterion Impact. Stefan, over to you.
Hello, I'm Stefan, a former entrepreneur turned into VC with Asterion, which is a club deal impact investment fund specialized in very early stage startups, including sustainable fashion.
Wonderful. All right, I think we're ready for the juicy part, and we're going to start with the pitching. And the first one I'd love to introduce is Lucy Soulard. She is the co-founder and COO from Place to Swap. Lucy, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. Did you know that 330 million euros of product were destroyed each year in fashion only in France? Did you know? I don't know. I can't see my presentation right now. I don't know if it's on. It is.
We can see it. Can you see it on the screen?
I can't.
We can see it.
Okay,
Yes,
so
we can see it.
I will improvise. Sorry. So 330 million of products are destroyed each year only in France. 27% of products are returned in fashion only in France. That makes an ecological and environmental totally nonsense for retailers. Next, please. In 2020, the good news is that retailers realize that. They realized they couldn't go on that way and they had to be in a more circular way. And the good news is that Place to Swap is precisely here to help them to become more circular thanks to an integrated circular economy platform that we developed and help them to address all the issues of end of life. So concretely, we are a B2B SaaS platform to be plugged on the retailer's website, where on the one hand, all consumers can sell their second-hand product or return product, and at the same time, the retailers can sell all these second-choice product or slipping inventories. On the other side, you've got this integrated marketplace where consumers can buy all second-hand choice of their products in the same place, responding to their expectation of circularity. To extend that, to achieve that, we just managed and just gathered a team of 3 experienced people who allowed, of 4 experienced people who allowed to launch that. So experience in retail, experience in fashion, experience in tech, with all something which gathers us, which shares our love of sustainability. We are a B Corp platform that really shows that we are totally engaged in that achievement to address and help retailers to become more circular. Our main target is definitely fashion, because fashion is where the use of second hand or where the waste is the most important. With our new solution, we aim to address 10 brands by the end of 2022 in order to achieve and in order to have a Serie A in 2022. Next. So circularity is not an option anymore for retailers. We all know that, and the good news is that Place to Swap is here to help that to address all this circularity issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lucy, for showing your powerful presentation and your work. Yeah, it's quite daunting when you see how much pollution fashion can really create. So thank you for enlightening us. Okay, we're going to go to our next presenter, which is Cedric Van Hoek from Retraced. Cedric, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Thank you. I'm trying to, oh yes, okay, now I have the clicker. Great, sorry. Okay, I only see myself. I don't know if the slides...
They will probably come up in a moment. Just give a second.
I have a little
here we go.
Yes. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, hello. I'm Cedric Van Hoek, and I'm the co-founder of Retraced, and I'm the general lead there as well. And we just raised 960,000 euros for our global patented solution that we are currently validating with more than 25 international fashion brands, of which some of those are listed here. Retraced makes garment recycling possible at a bigger scale, higher quality, and for a lower cost. And this is quite important, as today we are wasting every second 1 garbage truck of textiles globally. This represents 34 million tons of textiles that we are wasting every year. And what is even more shocking is that less than 1% of all garments that are made or produced are in the end effectively recycled. That is not only a huge environmental impact that this represents, but also $500 billion worth of materials that we are wasting every single year. So it's clear that with those numbers, the fashion industry is one of the more polluting ones, representing 5 to 10% of the global emissions on a yearly basis, depending on which source you check. And what is the reason why we have such a polluting industry? Well, it's the fact that garments are difficult to recycle. And the main reason is because it's labor intense. You literally need manual labor to take out buttons, zippers, labels in order to be able to recycle the textiles. With Resortex, we make that disassembly 5 times faster. And this by simply changing the sewing thread. The Resortex stitching thread melts down at specific temperatures of 150, 170, and 200 degrees Celsius. And this allows you to make seams automatically disappear by simply heating up the garments. This has a benefit that you don't have to change anything in your design or in the manufacturing, and that your garments can still be washed, dried, and in some cases even ironed. Thanks to this, garments can become part of a circular ecosystem in which a garment maker can use the sewing thread in the production of a new garment. The fashion brand can market circular garments, reach sustainability targets, but as well reduce costs in, for example, the management of unsold inventory. And then later on, sorters and recyclers can heat up the garments in our dismantling ovens. We are currently building the first oven that has a capacity of 7 tons per day. In this way, the zippers, buttons, labels are automatically sourced out of those garments, and then the textiles can be changed into fibers that can then be used again in the making of a new fabric that is usable in the making of a new garment. The recycler that we are currently partnering up with to do this is Purify, which is specialized in cotton recycling in a way that you can get the fibers without any damaging on the fiber length, which is quite innovative. Resortex is a well an award-winning team that is supported by an international advisory board, and that is combining senior expertise and youthful energy in engineering, design, marketing, finance, and environmental science. We won the Global Change Award, but as well the European Social Innovation Competition, because we represent a small change with a huge environmental and financial impact. We can reduce with 58% the cost of unsold inventory, while reducing as well with 55% the CO2 impact of a garment for a brand, and making 3 times more materials available for a recycler on the other hand. We are currently preparing our Series A for beginning of 2022, where we will raise 3 million euros. If you're interested to know more about us, please reach out. I already thank you for your attention.
Cedric, thank you so much. And indeed, who knew that such a small change could have such a big ripple effect? Very powerful solution. Okay, we're now going to go to Marianne Wachtmeister from Corvette. Marianne, the floor is yours. Oh, you are muted. That's okay.
There. So, hi everyone. Do you hear me? Yes? Okay. So, I'm Marianne. Together with Manuel Malen, we founded Courbet 3 years ago with the ambition of contributing to a more responsible consumption and production of luxury jewelry. And the idea was really to provide a sustainable alternative to the traditional luxury brands at Place Vendôme. So, of course, that's where we are as well. So the idea was to, and still is, to offer timeless branded designs of wedding, everyday, and even fine jewelry in 18-karat gold and diamonds, while avoiding the negative ecological and ethical consequences of diamond mining and gold mining. So how did we do this? We opted for lab-grown diamonds. And I suppose many of you already know that a lab-grown diamond is made out of carbon atoms that have crystallized and become a diamond that is chemically, optically, and physically identical to a diamond extracted from a mine. The big difference is its environmental impact, which is significantly lower. Now, to produce lab-grown diamonds, you need a lot of energy. The great news there is that the primary growers of lab-grown diamonds are working hard and are on the way right now to become carbon neutral through use of renewable energy sources. Some are even today carbon positive via extracting the CO2 from the air and transforming that into carbon atoms that they use.
So these are the suppliers that we actually work with today, and we have invested in one of them. We also opted for recycled gold, traceable recycled gold from urban mines, where you recycle gold from telephones and industrial waste. We've already extracted 50% of the gold that exists on this planet. And this 50% is actually enough to supply the demand for 70 years to come across all industries. So there's no real need to dig to meet that need. We've extended this thinking across all our operations. So everything from packaging, the jewelry boxes, the way we deliver, the way we furnish, we are decorating and furnishing our showrooms. And I think, we've been very well accepted today by the market, who share our values. We've had 3 years now. We've already done the seed financing, the Series A financing, and the Series B. So we raised, about a year ago, we raised 9 million euros. And these 9 million were actually aimed at a Chinese expansion. So we're now, this week, launching in China. We've established proof of concept in France. The big next step for us is to establish proof of concept in China, where ecology is a hot topic. Once this is done, in about a year, we will look to initiate a new financing round for further expansion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marianne. All right, we're now going to go to Lucas Puender from Retraced. Lucas, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Hi, it's a pleasure. I'm just getting this clicker working, and I'm not sure if I'm actually able to, because I think there was something wrong with the order of people. And
yes, that was my fault.
All right, I think now it's working perfect.
Okay, great.
Great stuff. Now I just need to see my slides. Perfect. All right, now I see everything. Amazing. So guys, thank you so much for having us today. My name is Lucas Puender. I'm one of the co-founders of Retraced. And Retraced is all about transparency and sustainability in the fashion industry. Why do we exist, or what is the issue that we try to tackle? I think we all know that fashion supply chains are extremely complex, and that the different participants within a supply chain are, let's say, very weakly connected. In the end, it's a digitalization backlog that we try to solve by developing a platform called Retraced, where we try to connect all the different participants in the fashion supply chain. So the first guys are, of course, the fashion brands, the manufacturers, the suppliers, and of course the raw material producers that you see on the right side of our tree. And then on the left side, you see all the other groups that are, of course, indirect participants or stakeholders in fashion supply chains. These could be auditors or certification bodies, of course, many different databases and consultants using the data and further developing it, and of course, the sustainability standards like fair wear or GOTS. And what we try to do is that we create something like a social media network where every company has their own little profile. And by connecting to a profile, you can access all the information that is lying there, like certificates, like CO2 footprints, like electricity consumption, like latest audit reports, or even just the location of the facility where the products are produced. And in the end, this helps you as a brand or as a supplier, when you're using Retrace, to first of all get an overview of where my fashion items are actually coming from. Of course, being able to streamline communication with your supply chain partners, because it's the first time ever that you have a proper way of communicating with each other. That, of course, helps me to define sustainability standards, of course, also compare them and measure them, and thereby, of course, improve them over time. This helps me, again, to, of course, mitigate risk, and, of course, to work on my supply chains to improve them in the long run. And finally, when I want to do so, I can also use all this data and communicate it either to my consumers to create trust, or potentially as a reporting to my financial advisors, to my bank, or whoever is in need or requests this kind of data from me. And the idea is, of course, in the end, that you can make the right decisions when it comes to sustainability along the way by having the right amount of data available, but of course being able to effectively implement all the sustainability practices in the long run, and of course thereby also monitor the progress of how far you are with your supply chains and try to improve on the way. Right now, we have around 50 brands active on the platform. The number is growing right now by around 20% months on months. So more and more brands are kind of joining our network. And the idea hereby is, of course, to create a network effect in the long run. Because obviously, when you have a supplier that is connected not to one brand, but maybe to 5, implementing a new set of data will automatically affect more people in the network. And of course, we are playing with this to create more value with the network, the more companies are joining our platform. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Lucas, for that wonderful presentation.
It's a pleasure.
And now we're coming to our final one, which is Cyril Derenlot from Domain. Cyril, the floor is yours.
Is it okay? I
Yes,
don't
it's
see my
perfect.
presentation.
It's probably coming up in a moment. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, good afternoon all. I'm Cyril Derenlot, CEO and founder at Domain, which is shaping the future uses of gold. So, next, please. Gold is a dream metal, but its demand increases with the worldwide population, while new gold sources decline. So we reach now the peak gold production. It means that its environmental and social impact could become more important than it's even at this moment. Next, please. In nature, tungsten is the only twin metal of gold, and during research in microelectronics, we succeed to mix them for the first time. We're able to change the atomic composition of these new alloys to obtain different materials, as with carbon for coal or diamond. Tungsten abundance is much higher than the gold one, so its environmental impact is much lower. Next. So, thanks to these innovative materials, it becomes possible to partially substitute gold by tungsten for its current applications, and so to have a very large environmental impact. For example, to compensate the annual carbon footprint of the city of Paris. In parallel, we can develop some new uses for gold because we are able to tune the gold tungsten properties, and so to imagine gold for medtech or for air pollution control. Next. So we chose to begin by aesthetical applications of gold because it's the most important one, and also because we fabricated the whitest gold, which opens large opportunities on different segments for jewelry. Next. Concretely, we buy raw materials, we transform them under coating form to finally obtain a precious and beautiful product with a lower consumption of gold. Next. How do we differ from our competitors? We develop a technology where gilding, now it's possible to have any metal, any design, and very long lifetime. So in terms of business, we bring to our customers larger margins and a technology with a more sustainable technology. Next. So, of course, to do that, we have a golden team with Clemence and Clara at full time and Albert and André. But now we need to reinforce this team. Next. Last Thursday, we announced a partnership with Hermes, which is very rare for a B2B supplier in luxury sector. So it proves our operational capacity. And we aim to implement our technology for a very large panel of industrial application to become a worldwide gold solutions provider. Next. So the next step will be to finalize a 2 million euro fundraising in equity to scale up our current activity and finalize R&D on our next offering for jewelry. And then we will deploy our technology on different industrial applications now. Next. And to conclude, Domain is a material science company which is developing a credible, sustainable, and cost-effective alternative to the pig gold.
Wow, thank you so much, Cyril. From melting seams to sustainable gold, these were some very impressive solutions. We have now about 6 minutes for Q&As. I would like to open the floor for our juror members. And I see if there's anybody who has any questions they would like to ask. Who would like to start? Yeah, Martin, go ahead.
Just point of clarification. Do you want us to ask a question of each of the competitors, or to pick whichever ones we think are particularly interesting to ask a question to?
Since we have a bit short time and we have more like we can dig deeper networking session, I say just ask whoever that speaks to you at this moment.
Okay, so I've got a couple of quick questions for Corbet on the diamonds, the lab-grown diamonds. Presumably, you need a certain diamond price in order to make your business sustainable. As the number of people producing lab-grown diamonds increases, presumably the price will fall. Is this a threat to your business model? And in fact, I would ask the same question, though substituting gold for diamonds, of Dome. If quite a lot of people start doing artificial gold, or however you want to call it, then presumably the overall price of gold starts to fall. At what point does this become a threat to your business model? Have you factored that in? So if I can ask that kind of portmanteau question to Corbet and to Dome.
Well, for Corbet's part, I mean, when we decided we want to try to transform the industry, it was key for us to do it from above. Just like you would see Tesla come in and transform the car industry, nothing had happened before, as long as there weren't any luxury cars being electric. So that's what we have been trying to do. So it's important for us to remain in the high-end segments. Having said that, when it comes to lab-grown diamonds, we have 3 segments in which we're operating. 2 of those 3 are very labor-intensive. So there are a lot of small, tiny diamonds that all have their facets and that actually cost, I think, as much as a mine diamond because of the labor-intensive work. And the fine jewelry is the same. Where the difference is for the wedding, for the engagement rings, where basically the cost of the ring is the stone. And there was where you have the question about the prices falling. Now, you know, we've seen prices come down, and the question is, will they continue to go down? Some say yes, especially the ones representing the mine diamond business, because that's what they would like to see happening, to see the lab-grown diamonds end up in the fashion segment. Those more interested in lab-growns, they would say, you know, you have a lot of producers today, but you have very few primary producers, those actually growing the stones. A lot of producers are saying they are producers because they buy the roughs, and they say they're producing because they buy roughs from the primary producers. So you have still between 20 and 30 growers, and those are constrained in their production volumes due to the scientists that needs to operate the reactors. And so what we see today, you know, the forces of offer and supply and demand, is that the entire production of lab-grown diamonds of 2021 is sold out, and 2022 you already have cash down payments to secure supply. So we're quite hopeful that with that mechanisms of supply and demand, we won't see the prices continue to erode. But the lower price we see today is purely a result of a more efficient business model with fewer intermediaries. It costs about 3 times more to produce than to extract.
Thank you, Marianne. Just for time, I'm just going to hand it over to Cyril so we can give him also a chance to answer.
Yes, just to give a precision, it's not artificial gold. In fact, gold is very soft. So usually you need to mix it with other metal to obtain harder metal and to be able to fabricate an object, like, for example, a jewel from Corbet. And when you change this metal, you obtain different color, white gold, white, yellow, and pink one. So the mixing of metals with gold is very, very historical metallurgy, no problem with that. So it's not an artificial gold. This mixing between gold and tungsten gives some new properties of gold for jewelry, for aesthetical application, but also for a lot of other applications, and also for particularity. From this new knowledge in gold metallurgy, we have been able to find a way to work with pure gold, not alloys, but pure gold, to be able to use gilding and to obtain beautiful product with a lower gold consumption. So it's not artificial gold, okay? It's new gold alloys for specific applications in jewelry and or pure gold for other applications, for example, at this moment in luxury.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And unfortunately, time is running out, but we do have the networking tables, and it's my least favorite thing to cut off when we talk about things that really matter. And I know there's more burning questions that are coming, but please go to the chat and go to the network sessions the moment this session is over, and keep having conversation. I want to thank you all for coming to this really inspirational session. Time is really flying when we're talking about things that really matter to us and matter to our planet. Thank you all change makers, jury members, and all of you for tuning in. I hope you're feeling inspired and ready for change now. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye. We'll see you in a while.